Mike Pompeo, former congressman from Kansas, former director of the CIA, and former Secretary of State in the Trump administration, is preparing for a presidential run in 2024. He said last week that he'd be making that decision in the next few months. His new book, Never Give an Inch, Fighting for America That I Love, was released last week. In the words of one reviewer in the Washington Post, quote, "Hatred animates this book." Among others, there's one group in particular that has captured a significant amount of Pompeo's vitriol. That is reporters and journalists. In the book, he calls us wolves. He calls us hyenas. In the past, he's called us lazy, nasty, and a clown show. And in this book, Mike Pompeo defends the Saudi government's murder of the Saudi-American journalist Jamal Khashoggi. He writes, quote, "We need to be clear about who Khashoggi was. Khashoggi was a journalist to the extent that I and many other public figures are journalists. We sometimes get our writing published, but we also do other things. The media," he says, "made Khashoggi out to be a Saudi Arabian Bob Woodward who was martyred for bravely criticizing the Saudi royal family through his opinion articles in the Washington Post. In truth," he continues, "Khashoggi was an activist who had supported the losing team in a recent fight for the throne, unhappy with being exiled," end quote. In response, the Washington Post publisher and CEO Fred Ryan released this statement. "It is shocking and disappointing to see that Mike Pompeo's book is so outrageously misrepresenting the life and work of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. As the CIA, which Pompeo once directed, concluded, Jamal was brutally murdered on the orders of the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. His only offense was exposing corruption and oppression among those in power, work that good journalists around the world do every day." Jamal dedicated himself to the values of free speech and free press, and he held himself to the highest professional standards. For this devotion, he paid the ultimate price. It is shameful that Pompeo would spread vile falsehoods to dishonor a courageous man's life and service and his commitment to principles that Americans hold dear as a ploy to sell books, end quote. In Jamal Khashoggi's very last article for the Washington Post on October 1st, 2018, which he turned into his editor the day before his disappearance, Khashoggi wrote about the importance of free expression worldwide and specifically in the Arab world. Quote, "Arab governments have been given free rein to continue silencing the media at an increasing rate. There was a time when journalists believed the internet would liberate information from the censorship and control associated with print media. But these governments, whose very existence relies on the control of information, have aggressively blocked the internet. They have also arrested local reporters and pressured advertisers to harm the revenue of specific publications." The very next day, October 2nd, 2018, Jamal Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate in Turkey, in Istanbul. He was never seen again. Over the next few weeks, it was determined that he was murdered and dismembered with a bone saw by agents of the Saudi government. And as Fred Ryan, the publisher of the Washington Post, pointed out, the CIA later concluded that the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered his assassination. Mike Pompeo is not just some sharp-tongued zealot who stumbled into politics. He is a very smart man. He was first in his class at West Point. He graduated from Harvard Law School, where he ran the Harvard Law Review. He was a four-term congressman before being appointed to lead the CIA and eventually the State Department. Criticizing the media is a time-honored tradition among politicians, and that's fine. But villainizing journalists, justifying the state-sanctioned murder of a journalist, is something entirely different. And of course, villainizing the media became commonplace at the highest levels under former President Donald Trump. He made and continues to make countless degrading and attacking comments about journalists and publications. He called the media the, quote, "enemy of the people" in speeches and at rallies. On Twitter alone, Trump accused the media of being the enemy of the people more than 50 times. At a time when threats against journalists are escalating, American leaders should be unequivocal in their support of the free press. This is the foundation of who we are as a nation. It is our actual First Amendment in the United States Constitution. What we stand for is free speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the press. It's at the very core of our national identity. The idea that a person who held one of the highest offices in the land, someone who may be running to hold the highest office in the land, would argue that a journalist like Jamal Khashoggi had it coming because he was meddling too much? That is exactly antithetical to who we are. Journalists who report on corruption, those who put their lives on the line to hold power to account, they are electing to do inherently dangerous work to shine a light on the truth. Journalist deaths rose by nearly 50% worldwide in 2022 from the year before. 67 members of the press were killed last year, according to a new report by the Committee to Protect Journalists. We cannot equivocate about things like this. This is incompatible with our basic values as Americans. It is incompatible with our basic values as humans. It is incompatible with the way we should be thinking about what journalism is and the role it plays in the quest for good governance. If we believe in democracy, then we must believe in justice. If we believe in justice, then we must believe in power being held to account. And if we believe in democracy and justice and holding power to account, then we must support journalists' ability to bear witness.